This is On the Couch with Dr. K, a show focused on answering the questions of urban and hip-hop adults rising to reach personal stars in daily life. Now, here's your host, Dr. K.
And good afternoon. You're on the couch with Dr. K right here on KWAM 990 Talk Radio. And we are getting right into it today. Today is one Sunday I wish I actually had 2 hours because I have all of the spices of life from Blogtalk Radio right here in the building with me today. Hello, everybody. Hey. Hi. And we have been hanging out since Friday. We started off at the Legend on Winchester. And I want to thank all of you who came out for our meet and greet. We had a packed house. I could not believe how many people were there. I will have pictures up on the Couch with Dr. K fan page. You all were fabulous. You looked great. You were so wonderful and inviting. So just thanks to everyone who came out on Friday. Today is our second event. We are saying, please don't love me to death. Ending relationships safely, because we know that some people, they just love a little bit too hard. And you know how you see people and they find a baby bird and they love the bird so much that they end up crushing and smothering the baby bird at the end. Exactly. So I don't want you to love me that much. Yes, sir, Big Daddy.
I'm in agreement with you.
Yes. You know, just love me a little bit less.
Yeah.
So we're going to go around the room and just let everyone introduce themselves. And we're going to start all the way in the back, but not in the back of my heart, with Big Daddy Ayers.
Yeah. Thank you for having us today, Dr.
Thank
K.
you for being here.
True little blessing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Big Daddy Ayers of the Spices of Life, and we are certified in keeping it real.
All right. Yes, thank you so much. And moving right along to the fabulous Dr. Fab.
Okay, well, I would like to say thank you, Dr. K, for having the Spices of Life at the radio show.
Yes,
at the radio station today.
Yes.
And thank you also for the hospitality. We've had a fabulous time here.
Good. So
And
glad to hear that.
I am Dr. Fab from the Spices of Life.
Okay, good. And moving to last but certainly not least, because your boss is always at the top, we have the boss lady.
Yeah.
Great afternoon.
Afternoon to you.
Thank you for having us. I am in love with Memphis.
Yay.
I can't wait to come back. Big Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
You true to everything that you said on our show. So
And big.
yes, I just want to say I'm so happy to be in your company.
Wow.
And because I'm in your company, I am now in the company of the fabulous Dr. K.
Well,
Okay.
thank
So,
you.
yes, I am the boss lady from the Spices of Life, and I'm in love with Memphis. Yes.
Yay. Well, you know, Memphis is a great place to live, to party, and to work.
Okay.
Especially if you can find some work, then you can really party.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
It coincides with everything.
Yes, Memphis is a great place. And how are you today, Dee? Good. It's so good to see you.
Hello, Dee.
As well, sir. Good to see you as well. So, yes, if you'd like to join in on our conversation today, give us a call at 901-260-5926. We are discussing Please Don't Love Me to Death. And when you think about domestic violence and actually coming out of relationships, you can even look to music. When I was looking for what to play for today, I thought about the song by Eminem and Rihanna, the I Love the Way You Lie. In that song, he has a sentence in there, and I'm sure I'm not going to quote it directly, but he talks about, if you try to leave me again, I'm going to burn this house down. And I don't think he's the only person who thinks like that. I think he was brave enough to put it out in that way. Because a lot of times people will tell us who they are and what they are going to do, but we just don't listen to them and we don't take it seriously.
Exactly.
Yes. So, Big Daddy, you look like you had something on your mind.
You can't take these people lightly because fools are everywhere.
Yes.
And sometimes fools are the one in love.
Mm-hmm.
So fools in love, it's going to be a problem when you leave them,
You're right. In fact, Beyonce is constantly singing about how she's a fool in love. And then I think the last thing I heard her say was, I don't care if I live or die, as long as I'm with you. She's singing about, making love and the sirens are going and all of this. And I'm not knocking the artistry of it. But I think what some people don't realize is this is figurative language. They don't really mean for you to be like this or to do this. But then you will have babies, children, people who aren't thinking properly, who will actually take this to heart.
Right.
So after this very first break, we're going to come back, talk a little bit about those stories, and hear what some of our Facebook friends had to say this week about this topic. So you are on KWAM 990. I am your hostess, Dr. K. If you want to give us a call at 901-260-5926.
That's alright, because I love the way you lie. I love the way you lie.
I can't tell you what it really is.
If it matters to Memphis, you'll hear all about it on AM 990 KWAM.
For legal experience with a Christian touch, call the law offices of attorneys Juliet Akins and Victoria Gillard. We stop foreclosures and repossessions. Other areas of our practice include personal injury, civil and criminal matters, divorce, child support, child custody, and Social Security cases. Call today at 901-522-0009 or 901-624-8852 for a free consultation. Are you considering buying or selling a home and don't know where to start? Call Sharon Brown of Twilight Realtors at 901-355-7271. To learn more about the services offered by Sharon Brown, visit her on the web at www.sharonbrown.cry-like.com or like her on Facebook today. Her success comes when your home is sold or you have the keys to your new home. Call Sharon Brown of Cry Like Realtors at 901-355-7271 for all your real estate needs today. For legal experience with a Christian touch, call the law offices of attorney Victoria Gillard. We stop foreclosures and repossessions. Other areas of our practice include personal injury, civil and criminal matters, divorce, child support, child custody, and Social Security cases. Call today at 901-624-8852 for a free consultation. Photography is so much better than reality. Marcus Edward Mediascape is a great photographer. Instead of purchasing plastic surgery, let him do all of your photos today. Try Marcus Edward. He is the plastic surgeon of photographers. Contact Marcus today at www.memediascape.webs.com. Streeter's Total Beauty is a hair salon that invites you to enjoy a lifestyle full of beauty today. Dial 901-649-0559. Look to Randa Patton Streeter's lifestyle blog, which also invites you to enjoy a lifestyle full of high fashion and glamour. Like her on Facebook today.
Here we go again, it's so insane, cause when it's going good, it's going great. I'm Superman with the wind in his back. She's Lois Lane, but when it's bad, it's awful. I feel so ashamed, I snap, who's that dude? I don't even know his name, I laid hands on him. I never stoop so low again, I guess I don't know my own strength.
Just gonna stand.
And we're back on the couch with Dr. K. I am your hostess, Dr. K, right here with the Spices of Life on KWAM 990. Give us a call at 901-260-5926. Today, in our stats and facts, which are always found for me by my super intelligent intern, Stanley Shotwell II. Thank you, Stanley, wherever you are today. He found a lot of information for me. One thing we looked at, I wanted an actual story to talk about here. We found this in the Commercial Appeal. It was published September 4th, 2013. And I'm sure we all remember Branche Lewis, who was killed by Carl Smith. He was her boyfriend, and he attacked her. He beat her to death, basically. And at that time, they were no longer in a relationship. So that means that they did not part in a good way. But one thing it says here was that he attacked her at least once before. I had the privilege this week of actually speaking with someone who was familiar with Branche. And this person said to me, when she met Carl Smith, she automatically got a bad feeling.
Oh, wow. That happened?
Automatically got a bad feeling about this person. Boss lady, you were saying that happens.
Yes, when you hear people automatically getting a bad feeling, it's because all of us vibrate and we give off energy.
Yes.
So when you initially come into contact with the person, if you are in tune with yourself and you know who you are, then you are in tune with your vibrations. So then, of course, you can feel another person's energy. So
Yes.
that does happen, and a lot of times, unfortunately, we overlook that.
We overlook it. You're so right. And that's what happened in this situation. She said, because I said, well, did anybody get any other indicators? Did you see her or know anything was happening? She said, no, it was always so secretive. They did not know until she was dead.
Sad.
They did not know until she was dead. Yes, Dr. Fad.
Well, I have like indicators, and my indicators go out. They just start flying, and I immediately. Sometimes, I think I don't want to be like prejudging people,
Right.
but it's just a feeling when that something is something,
Right.
Right.
and if it's anything like negative that I get from them, I'm going to speak on it. And I think
Yes.
oftentimes we, like you said, we ignore the signs. And I think we'd be so happy as women to have someone who is paying us some attention until we refuse to allow the people that's surrounding us that like us to have an opportunity to meet them so they can get an idea, and you don't want to know the truth.
Right, exactly, because that is one of the forms of control that an abusive person uses. They use isolation.
Right, definitely.
And if you are someone who has been starving for attention, you may misinterpret that as, oh, he loves me so much. He doesn't want me around anybody else. He loves me so much. He wants to make love to me all the time. He loves me so much. He doesn't want me out of the house, because part of you wants that too.
Right.
And you're right. You have to really know yourself and know what buttons someone like that can push. When I was thinking today about, some of the stats and facts that we wanted to talk about, and even the 4 points we'll get to later, I said, I didn't really want to go that traditional route of talking about the indicators of abusers, because I think we all know it.
Right.
We know it. We see the red flags. You get that uh-oh feeling.
Right.
I think what we need to really focus on would be the indicators of a victim. Because oftentimes we don't talk about that. We say to victims, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. You're a victim. I would venture to say, and don't everybody call in at once, that the first time it's not your fault.
Right.
The first time. After that, you have some fault in it.
Exactly.
You have some fault in it. What were you going to say?
Exactly what you said. The first time, okay, you wasn't, okay, he was wrong, she was wrong, whoever the abuser was wrong.
Right.
The second, third, fourth, fifth, 5, 6, 7 years down the road, you chose to stay in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
You have, because you could have left. After
Yes.
the first time, you could have gone on about your business.
Mm-hmm.
So once you once you play into once you play that victim role or
Right.
step into that victim role, then you become the abuser.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are now allowing yourself to be abused, and you are abusing yourself by staying in that situation.
I totally agree with that, because it's easiest to leave during the first occurrence.
Exactly.
And that's when you should leave.
Yes.
The first time should have been the last time.
Exactly.
Right.
Ain't no time for, it shouldn't be a time for second time.
Right, exactly. The first time, the very first time. What did that woman say in What's Love Got to Do with It?
Yeah.
And Ike hit her once. She said, oh, you just got to hit me one time. I'm gone.
Right.
Tina, you can stay here if you want to.
Exactly.
And she chose to stay
stay
there.
there.
And when she chose to leave, she left.
Right.
And I believe that for those of us, men and women,
Definitely.
because men and women can be abused
Exactly.
by men and women.
Exactly.
So because a lot of times we as women, we have a weapon sometimes that's even more powerful than a fist.
Oh.
We have a mouth.
Slick.
Oh, yeah.
We have a mouth, and we can say some stuff that will hurt you to your core for life.
Yes.
And you will never recuperate from
Right,
that.
right.
So men as well as women, the first time those things occur, you need to accept it and know, ooh, okay, this is some abuse. I don't feel good here.
Right, right.
And you need to cut it off right then.
Right.
So let's look at some of the statistics we have about domestic violence. And this is data from the National Crime Victimization Survey done between 2003 and 2012. So basically, domestic violence, and that includes rape, sexual assault, robbery, and aggravated and simple assault, because a lot of times when it occurs with your intimate partner and sex is involved, you'll also see a sexual assault there as well.
Right.
It accounts for 21% of all violent victimizations. 21%. Now, let me give you some of the numbers. And this is every year, the numbers of domestic abuse that occurs. So overall, we have 1,411,000 people about who are domestically victimized every single year.
Wow.
Now, about right at 960,000 would be just intimate partners. 314,000 would be a spouse. 134,000 are ex-spouses. But get this, 518,000 are boyfriends and girlfriends.
Yeah.
Chris Brown and Rihanna. I'm like, they're too young to even be like that. And they're
Exactly.
beating each other up, going to the award show. We have a caller. Hi, caller. You're on the couch with Dr. K.
Yes, my name is Wilbert Hill. How are you doing?
Fine. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Great. You have a question or a comment?
I've just got a quick comment.
Yes.
I work for a probation agency, which is called Tennessee Correctional Services, and we do batterers intervention classes, and most of our classes center around men that batter.
Okay.
And I just wanted to say that in a victim situation, a lot of times the violence doesn't just happen physically, and it happens over a period of time. Most of the victims don't even know they're victims. By the time they've got that first lick, they've been abused sexually, financially, emotionally, and like I say, by the time they get that first lick, they're already in that pattern of abuse. And it's so hard for them to break loose.
Tell us a little bit more about that, because this is really some news to me, because now I'm thinking, oh, Jesus, have I been in one of these? So, yeah, tell us a little bit more. Some more information about that.
Like I say, we deal mostly with the batterers, and the program that we have is centered around how to change their behavior and beliefs. And some of the tricks that they use financially, They use the kids. They use emotional abuse, telling the victims, well, you're not any good. Nobody else will want you. I did a class yesterday, and the guy actually told me that after him and his female companion fight, they have the best sex ever, and he feel like that's normal, along with his partner.
Wow,
So
we're all speechless here. Okay, Dr.
believe
Fab
me,
has a question for you.
Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi. Thank you for calling in. I have a question. This is Dr. Fab from the Spices of Life. Can you give us an example of some scenarios you've heard from married couples, speaking in terms of being financially abused?
And a lot of the situations in Memphis and Shelby County, it may be still one person that's going after work. So a lot of men feel like if they go out and, they have a job and they go out and bring the bread home, whatever they feel like happens in the home, they're the master of that, and it's still, 40 or 50 years ago, they still have that thinking, okay, I'm the man. I bring home the bacon. Whatever I say in the house goes. And they have a lot of women that buy into that because they don't have a job. They may not have a high school education. So they're willing to accept whatever the man lays down until it gets more than they can bear.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, because, you're getting back to what I'm now seeing is almost a theme in a lot of the negative things that occur, especially here in the Mid-South. Poverty and lack of education
Plays a
Yes.
huge role.
and mindset. When you don't have the right mindset, you don't have education, and you don't have money, you automatically set yourself up for abuse. Did you have disaster? Did you have anything else you want to add?
I wanted to add one other thing that my probation office is starting a Men and Women of Shelby County Against Domestic Violence rally and annual breakfast. And it's going to be August the 16th at the Whitehaven Community Center, 4318 Graceland. And we've got political figures, domestic violence advocates, and even victims that are going to be speaking. And we just want to draw attention to this epidemic of domestic violence, because it's an epidemic.
Thank you so much. I want to get you in here on one of our shows before your event. So if you will please give your information to Dee so that we can be in contact with each other, I think that'll be great.
I sure will. Thank you so much for having me on.
Okay, hold on, okay?
Thank you for calling.
And thank you for calling, and please call in again.
Thank you.
All right. We have another caller. Hi, you're on the couch with Dr. K.
Hey, how you doing?
Fine. How are you today?
Hey, what's up? I'm Nate Lee, calling in from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Great, Mr. Lee. Thank you so much for calling in. You have a question or a comment?
It's kind of a two-part. I want to know, as far as statistics goes, what is the link between alcohol abuse involved with domestic violence, and how much is this starting in the home as children, as far as punishments and being hit as a child? How does that translate into growing up being a victim? And I do want to say that if that's true, as far as it starting in the home, it means that both parties are victims, kind of, right?
Yes, thank you so much for that question. And I really appreciate you calling in, and please continue to listen, because you're getting right at the next piece of information that I wanted to share with everyone. I looked up this week an article I found online, and it's called practicalhomicide.com. There's a website out there, and it's actually written by a homicide detective from New York. And he talks about some of the background information from different cases and people who have been abused. And he says usually alcohol and drug abuse plays a big part of being an abuser. And abusers often have been abused.
Abused, exactly.
And you just have the cycle. Hurt people, hurt people. Hurt people,
Right.
hurt people.
It's learned behavior.
It's learned behavior.
So once we learn a lifestyle and a mindset, then we transfer that on to other people.
And you know what? And I can see where someone is really drawn in by an abusive person, because oftentimes an abusive person is also a victim.
Definitely.
And they color themselves as being a victim.
They play that
Right.
victim card.
Girl,
all day.
look how you gonna do me. How you gonna do me like that?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
And then you just melt like butter.
And some women
And
think
women
you
are
don't care about
nurturers,
them.
so they wanna
You don't whoop them.
nurture their counterpart, and they have a form of a Stockholm syndrome.
Yes.
You fall in love with your captor,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a psychosis in itself.
Yes, it is. And that was one of the other parts of abuse mentioned in this article as well. People fall in love with people who abuse them. And Big Daddy, at the end, you were saying that there are some women. I'm going to let you finish your own statement. I don't want to.
Some women think you don't care about them if you don't hit them.
Wow.
They act out or do things to try to make you hit them.
That's true.
Okay, well, just for the listening audience to know, let me just come out real clear. I don't feel that way. Don't hit me.
Don't even talk to me.
Don't hit me. Don't talk to me crazy. I agree. Dr.
Someone
Sam.
even posted on Facebook. It was a judge. She was it was a husband and wife, and she said he always say he loved her too much and always try to do nice things for her. And he never hit her or abused her, so she didn't think it was real.
Wow. That's amazing.
And the judge was saying she really needs some kind of counseling.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. Because, and I think that's a whole nother show about people and even their sexuality, pleasure and pain, and how you had your first kind of relationship and all of that, the way you were disciplined, and who was the person disciplining you, and now you have all of that kind of mixed up in your head. Right. So yes, you have to have some professional help to tease all of that out. Caller, do you have anything else before we go?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to the boss lady and Dr. Fab, and let them know that my spice is cayenne. So,
We appreciate you calling in, Cayenne. This is the boss lady.
All right,
all right, y'all have a good evening.
Why are you Cayenne Pepper? This is Dr. Fab.
That's right. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling in, and please continue to listen. We have another caller. Okay, great. All right. So after this break, we will look at some things people on Facebook were saying about how they actually left their relationship in a safe manner. You are on the couch with Dr. K right here on KWAM 990. Give us a call at 901-260-5926.
Yesterday is over, it's a different game. Sound like broken records playing over, but you promised her next time you show restraint. You don't get another chance. Life is no Nintendo game, but you lied again. Now you get to watch her leave out the window. Guess that's why they call it window pane.
Just gonna stand there and watch me burn.
Now you can listen and watch too. Go to our website to listen online and see our studio cam, KWAM990.com.
For legal experience with a Christian touch, call the law offices of Attorney Victoria Gillard. We stop foreclosures and repossessions. Other areas of our practice include personal injury, civil and criminal matters, divorce, child support, child custody, and Social Security cases. Call today at 901-624-8852 for a free consultation. Streeter's Total Beauty is a hair salon that invites you to enjoy a lifestyle full of beauty today. Dial 901-649-0559. Look to Randa Patton Streeter's lifestyle blog, which also invites you to enjoy a lifestyle full of high fashion and glamour. Like her on Facebook today. For legal experience with a Christian touch, call the law offices of attorneys Juliet Akins and Victoria Gillard. We stop foreclosures and repossessions. Other areas of our practice include personal injury, civil and criminal matters, divorce, child support, child custody, and Social Security cases. Call today at 901-522-0009 or 901-624-8852 for a free consultation. Photography is so much better than reality. Marcus Edward Mediascape is a great photographer. Instead of purchasing plastic surgery, let him do all of your photos today. Try Marcus Edward. He is the plastic surgeon of photographers. Contact Marcus today at www.memediascape.webs.com. Are you considering buying or selling a home and don't know where to start? Call Sharon Brown of Twilight Realtors at 901-355-7271. To learn more about the services offered by Sharon Brown, visit her on the web at www.sharonbrown.cry-like.com or like her on Facebook today. Her success comes when your home is sold or you have the keys to your new home. Call Sharon Brown of Cry Like Realtors at 901-355-7271 for all your real estate needs today.
Gonna stand there and watch me burn, but that's alright because I like the way it hurts. Just gonna stand.
And you're back right here on the couch with Dr. K on KWAM 990. I am here with the Spices of Life, and I sent a little message to Dr. Fab earlier this week, and I said, ever since I heard Spices of Life, I have spent so many weeks trying to decide what spice I am, and I was like, oh, I can't wait. I know they're going to ask me, so go ahead, ask me.
Big Dad.
Yeah, ask me.
Dr. K,
Yes.
what is your spice? What spice describes your
I
personality?
can't believe you're asking. Okay. I am cinnamon.
Okay, now.
Because I am sweet yet spicy. Okay. You either hate me or you love me. Okay. And I am hot in temperature as well as hot to the tongue.
Okay.
And yes, and I look good on food.
Definitely, you do that.
So I love cinnamon, and I like to eat cinnamon too. And it tastes good in a lot of different arenas. So that's why I'm cinnamon.
You might have one of the best explanations for your spice than
but see,
all
I've
the
had
spices
many,
of life.
many weeks to think of it.
I mean, you researched that thing.
I did. I really thought about it. I would think about it driving down the street, which is probably why I ran a couple of stoplights.
Oh,
so, okay. All right. So we're going to get back to our topic today. Thank you so much for asking me that.
Thank you for having me.
But on Facebook, my friend Karen responded to this topic. And the question was, how do you safely exit an abusive relationship? And Karen says, I had to cut all ties and not look back. I had to face losing all contact with people who were a part of my, quote, married life because they wanted to discuss my negative situation. And I knew that would not be good.
Right.
Then she says she reached out for help. She went to classes. She went to therapy. She focused on getting better. And she also focused on getting her children better. And she says it was that survival that caused her to become reborn. Lastly, she says, she said a lot of stuff here. She said, make sure that you understand when you get ready to leave, it will make everything worse. There will be outbursts of violence. They start to become more frequent and more violent. But you have to be determined. That is the key. Stay focused. It gets worse before it gets better. Be determined, and then it will all get better. Thank you, Karen, for giving all of that information. Someone really needed to hear that. What were you going to say, Dr. Fab?
Congratulations to Karen on her magnificent. It's a strategy.
Yes,
you have to stay focused, and as well as she mentioned, determined to make the decision. And making the decision sometimes is really, really, really hard.
Yes,
and it's the first step.
Right.
And so, congratulations to her and to anybody who is listening to the show today that is experiencing a domestic and abusive situation. Please seek help.
Right.
Seek help, and surrounding yourself with true friends that are really going to be brutally honest with you. Because I'm realizing that it's a lot of people don't have real friends.
Right.
Okay? Because you need people to tell you the truth.
What's real?
Right.
Yes.
The naked truth. And people don't have that.
Right. You're right. It
People don't
takes
have
some courage to do that. And one thing that I have found, especially in abusive relationships or situations, you'll see people see it. And they go, girl, that ain't my business.
Right.
That's their business. I ain't going to tell her, because as soon as you tell a child, she going to be done with you. Well, maybe she is, but maybe you save a life.
Right.
They don't see it like that.
They don't see it like that. So you have to be brave. In fact, Marcus, another friend on Facebook, he says, it depends on the way you leave. I think some people like to let you know someone else took them from you, and that's when a lot of people snap. And those people show early signs of how angry they can get. But no one deserves to get killed over situations like this, but they show you early on more than once that if you leave this relationship, it is going to end in a hellified and scary way.
Right. And women shouldn't let men do so much for them in a relationship. Let a man do everything for you and buy you everything. You shouldn't do that.
Right. Tell us about that.
Because, if a man do everything for you, he feel like you belong to him. You're going to do what he say, when he say, how he want it done. So if you got your own and can let him know you can make it with him or without him, then it's balanced then.
Right.
Because you unbalanced when, okay, well, go ahead and leave with what you came here with.
Right.
What you got?
And you know what? I really like what you said right there, because I think, again, that goes to self-reflection. Because there are some people, men and women, who are more than happy to let someone step in and do every single thing for you, because it makes you feel so good and so loved. Go ahead.
At the same time, while they are doing that, they are externalizing their power.
Yes.
And you do not externalize. You don't turn your power over to another person or anything. You internalize your power.
Right.
So when you allow a man to make all the money, call all the shots, because you're thinking you're being the perfect wife, you are giving up your own God-given power when you do that. And you put yourself in a place to become a victim.
That's very true. And I think, like you have said, sometimes it is about being the perfect wife or the perfect husband.
Right.
But, and don't everybody call in at once about this, sometimes I think it's about being lazy and trifling.
Exactly.
Because you want somebody to do everything for you.
Right.
Because you want to laze around. Because you don't want to put that energy into creating your own life.
Right.
You're letting somebody else create a life, and you're just laying around. I mean, like, just be honest with yourself now. Because we all have that little lazy bum inside of us.
Right.
And we have to beat it down every day.
Right.
And get up and go to work. And some of us are better at doing that than others.
Exactly.
But, you know, be honest with yourself. And that's when you have to have those good friends who say, now, girl, you know, you being trifling.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I find that there's a lot of I work in an organization where it's a higher ratio of professional African Americans who are really, really successful, making decent salaries. But I find it so disturbing that so many successful women, they are in a lot of domestic relationships.
Abusive relationships.
Yeah. And it's because in one aspect on their professional lives, they're in control, but when in the personal life, they really, really, struggle with that. Why is that? Have you seen that?
Yes. Well, I think it has to do with control. You'll see a lot of people who are very much in control in one situation, and then they go into another situation and they give up all of the control. So oftentimes let's say if you see someone who is very submissive at work, you may go to their homes and they are a tyrant.
Right.
Someone who is, a tyrant at work may go home and be very submissive. And I do think sometimes being in control can be stressful.
It can.
It's not all it's cut out to be. And sometimes even just as a stress reliever. And that's how you get people who are into S&M and dominatrixes and all that stuff, because that having that control can be very stressful. And so to have someone make you relinquish control can be a great release for some people. So I think that's why you see different situations where people are in control here, but not in control there, and vice versa. Right. Yes, you were saying something?
Yeah, a lot of times in relationships, people don't be honest.
Yes.
Don't be honest with themselves. They and the reason they don't be honest because when I say not being honest, they done lied to their friends.
Tell us what you mean.
Lisa is the best woman I ever had. The time this person is doing you all kinds of ways and treating you so bad. You don't want to admit to it because you done lied to your friends.
Right.
So you allow yourself to stay in an abusive relationship because you don't want to have to be honest with your friends.
Right. So bravery and honesty.
Right. Exactly.
Be brave and honest with yourself, and be brave and honest with other people.
Definitely.
Okay, so after this next break, we will come back with our 4-point star, which is sponsored by the Memphis Stars magazine. You're listening to On the Couch with Dr. K, right here on KWAM 990. Give us a call at 901-260-5926. For legal experience with a Christian touch, call the law offices of Attorney Victoria Gillard. We stop foreclosures and repossessions. Other areas of our practice include personal injury, civil and criminal matters, divorce, child support, child custody, and Social Security cases. Call today at 901-624-8852 for a free consultation. Are you considering buying or selling a home and don't know where to start? Call Sharon Brown of Cry-Like Realtors at 901-355-7271. To learn more about the services offered by Sharon Brown, visit her on the web at www.sharonbrown.cry-like.com or like her on Facebook today. Her success comes when your home is sold or you have the keys to your new home. Call Sharon Brown of Cry-Like Realtors at 901-355-7271 for all your real estate needs today.
Now I know we said things, did things that we didn't mean, and we fall back into the same patterns, same routine, but your temper's just
And you're back on the couch with Dr. K. I am your hostess, Dr. K, right here with the Spices of Life on KWAM 990. The number here is 901-260-5926. Our topic today is Please Don't Love Me to Death, Exiting Relationships Safely. So now we're at our 4-point star, which is sponsored by the Memphis Stars magazine, available this upcoming week at your local Kroger stores. On the Couch with Dr. K will be one of the focus features this month in the Memphis Stars magazine, where everyday people can be stars. Thank you. Thank you. So our 4-point star today is packing. You know, we all once you realize you're in an abusive relationship, you need to get to packing.
Exactly.
You need to pack. P-A-C-K. Let's say that together. Pack. P-A-C-K. Thank you. Pack. P. Put yourself first.
Hello.
Put your needs, your desires, your wants first. Don't worry about the other person because they're putting their wants, desires, and needs first. You have to save yourself first. They tell you that on the airplane all of the time. Put on your oxygen mask first. A. Accept. Accept what you see. Accept this person will not change without remorse and intervention. Don't think you can change them. They have to be remorseful in their hearts, and then they will need help to change. It's going to get worse before it ever gets better. So don't sit there thinking, oh, this is going to get better, not without some intervention. And you need to accept what you see so that you can move on quickly. The longer you stay, the worse it will get. C, consider a plan before leaving. Don't be a fool. Don't just up and go. You need to think this through. Call your friends. Let people know so that you can leave safely. And that's with any relationship, whether it's abusive or not, because even normal people can snap sometimes.
Exactly.
And if you're trying to end this thing with your boyfriend and everything was great, but you do it in such a way that's just so foul, they may snap on you.
Right.
So you need to have a plan to break up. Maybe you need to do it in a public place. Maybe you need to, you might have to do it via text message if you think they're going to reach across the table and slap you at the
Right.
end. So think about who you're dealing with and let other people know what your plans are so that you can leave safely. And then lastly, once you make that decision, K, keep it moving. Don't go back. Don't go back. Keep it moving. Cut it off. Get your bag and keep going. You all probably don't remember this song, but it's called There's 50 Ways to Leave a Lover. And it says, just jump out the back, Jack. Make a new plan, Stan. Don't need to be coy, Roy. Just get yourself free. And what happens sometimes is we have done the P, the A, and the C, and we forget the K. You have to keep it moving forward. Don't move backwards. Sometimes you'll see that the person has gotten away. They have a change of heart. They let the person come back, and somebody ends up dead. Yes, all the time. And in fact, with Branche Lewis, someone had a actual statement saying she was a very forgiving person, and she had forgiven this man, and they kind of were, in communication, and that's when everything occurred. Yes.
A lot of times
Right.
we tend to go to the Bible and say, well, the Bible says that you should forgive 70 times, whatever the scripture says. But what they don't tell you in the Bible is don't be a fool.
Yes.
You can forgive somebody, but don't be foolish about how you when you keep forgiving and the same thing over and over again. You becoming a fool if it's
Right.
abusive to you. So forgive, but don't be a fool about it. Forgive it, and cut it off.
Right, and it doesn't
yourself.
Yes, it doesn't say forgive and be there in their faces
all the time.
You can forgive and move on.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, keep it moving. Keep it
Just tell
moving.
'em, don't call me. Don't text me. You got something to ask me? Fax me.
In fact, you don't even have to even say that. Just don't.
Right, and leave it
Just
alone.
they'll get the point if you don't answer,
Right.
if you don't fax back, if you don't text back, if you unfriend them, block the number, do whatever you need to do to stay safe.
Right, to save yourself
To
first.
save yourself first. Because some people say, yeah, I don't take all that. Well, some people it does.
It does.
And don't be taken by tears.
Yes.
Don't let them tears make you say, okay, I'm going to let them back.
Right.
I'm going to let her back. She crying her heart out. Let her cry her heart out. That's what they make tissues for. Kleenexes.
Big Daddy's hard. You need to have a class and just let people know that they need to get it together and keep it moving. So remember, your 4-point star today is pack. Put yourself first. Accept what you see. Consider making a plan, and then keep it moving. Yes. This has been a great show today. Please remember to like us on Facebook at On the Couch with Dr. K. If you have questions, comments, or need advice, drop us an email at onthecouchwithdr.k@gmail.com. And as always, in parting, I wish you a life full of love, peace, and happiness. If you cannot be in love, then at least try to be happy.
Right.
If you cannot be happy, then at least try to be peaceful. But if your peace has been disturbed, then you need to find a new situation. You've been listening to On the Couch with Dr. K. I am your hostess, Dr. K, right here on KWAM 990 Talk Radio. Have a wonderful Sunday, and thank you to all my spices.
Thank you.
All right. Yay. I think we're gone. We're done.